Everyone. We are at the whiteboard. Do you have an access to the whiteboard? By chance, do you see the whiteboard? Fernando, Rodrigo, Shelton.
Psalms 85, and there is a lion, a picture of a lion,
Yes.
and there is two other pictures. One in Hebrew. There is some letters in Hebrew alphabet,
Yes.
and the other zodiac, the zodiac pictures.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Rodrigo. And good morning, Ruth. We are very happy that you're here.
Good morning, everybody. I'm glad to be here.
We are
Hope
very
everybody's doing.
Yes, Ruth?
I just hope everybody's had a good past week.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And Philip, good morning or good afternoon or good night. Australia? Do you have an X?
Hetty,
Yes.
this is good night at the moment. I am trying to get into the concept board at the moment.
Good. Good. So Rodrigo already described us. There is one verse from Psalms 85. There is a painting by or a drawing by Peter Paul Rubens, a lion. There is a zodiac and there is mosaic which express in Hebrew the signs on the zodiac. Why do you think that I brought this topic? The topic of the class is truth and justice, and there's a lion. What is the relation between them? In what season are we in the year, or what sign is governing? What is the connection between all of these?
We are under the sun is under Leo, the
Yes.
sign of the lion,
Yes, yes. True.
and I have some guess about what it means. It is Aryeh in Hebrew, right?
Yes,
Lion.
Aryeh. Yes,
Aryeh.
yes.
And it has a relation with wisdom.
Yes, yes, this is true. Aryeh. Let's write it here. Aryeh. Second. 1 second. Do you know or remember in this week at the end of it which Hebrew months will start? Yes. Do you know, did you hear the name of the Hebrew months which is parallel to August? Yes?
We are at Tammuz, maybe?
We are at Tammuz. Yes, Tammuz, and Tammuz will end this.
And
yes.
we are going to Av, right?
Av.
To Av.
Yes.
That we have the 9 of Av.
Av. Chodesh Av. Av. Very good. Chodesh Av. Av is also a father. True in Hebrew?
Yes.
The value of Av is 3. 3. Do you remember or know which star is governing Leo?
Is the sun, I think.
Is the sun. Sun. Sun in Hebrew, Chama. 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 The value of Chama is 53. The sun in Hebrew is not just Shemesh, but also Chama. The value of Chama from Cham. Cham is hot. So feminine hot. Sun is a feminine hot. Its value is 53. Do you remember the number 53? What does it remind you of? To what?
Sag, the name, sorry, the 53, I think.
Yes, 53. What does it remind you of? Which word in Hebrew has the value of 53, which also holds the letters Av? Yeah.
The rock, heaven.
Even, very good. The rock Even. Even, which is a rock or a stone. But what is Even in Hebrew? What is a rock or a stone means in Hebrew?
The union between Father and Son.
Yes, the union between Father and Son of the Creator and the creation. The creation is the Son, and the Creator is the Father. When you look at the face of this lion, what kinds of thoughts, emotions comes to you? Look at the face of the lion. Does it look like a lion? Do you see something else in his face?
Sadness.
Sadness. Good morning, Joanne. Joanne says that 53 is Gan. Very good. Gan is a garden. Very good, Joanne. Gan is a garden, and we have also 53 portions of the Torah. The 5 books of Moses are divided into 53 portions. 53 is the gematria of the word Gan, Garden of Eden, Gan. Yes. Thank you, Joanne. So, Shelton, what do you see in his eyes?
It seems sad, concern, maybe bewilderment,
Mm-hmm.
confusion, maybe doesn't understand. Something's not completely, he's a little bit concerned and maybe bewildered. Sorrow, perhaps.
Mm-hmm. Did you see such an expression on human face before?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Questions or thoughts before we move to Psalms and see the relation between justice and truth? Questions or thoughts, ideas that you would like to share with us?
E.T., I have
Yes.
a question.
Yes.
It is interesting because now we are under the sign of Leo
Mm-hmm.
and the cycle of the sun. And the sun usually is related with Sefirat Tiferet.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It is related with beauty and harmony, with Zer and Pin, and with Jacob, also with Moses. But now we have the month of Av, that is in the tradition, let's say, it is a month of grief, let's say, most of the time,
Mm-hmm.
because the 9 of Av, if I remember well.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to ask you about this idea, because maybe the secret is different from the tradition, you know, the literal tradition. So
Do you
it
ask
seems a paradox, you know, because
why
it's
is
the
it?
beautiful light that we have,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a month of grief. So
Yes.
why is that?
It is good. It is a good question. You mentioned Tisha B'Av, 9th of Av, the 9th of Av. Tisha B'Av, 1 second, the 9th of Av. what is happening in this day, 9th of Av, the temple was destroyed. Destruction of the temple. The 9th of Av, we have a destruction of the temple. And you ask, if it is so beautiful and all of those things are showing unity, what is happening? This is why I brought the zodiac here, the mosaic of the zodiac, and also here we see, you see the lion here, Aryeh, running forwards for Betula, the virgin, he's running for her. So in order to understand what has happened in this day and why specifically from all the days of the year, in this day the temple was destroyed, let's look into the Hebrew order here in the mosaic. The mosaic is writing here from right, this is right, to left, I'm moving slowly here, the name of the signs from spring. Again, this table is collecting or mentioning the names of the signs from spring, right to left. So we start with Taleh. Taleh, this is April. I will write here, this is Aries, you say, this is April. 1 second, I'll send the pen that everything will fit. This is April. This is May. Sure. This is Teomim or June, twins. And here we have Crab Cancer, I don't know how to call it. This is July. And August, Ari. Ari, this is Aryeh, 3 letters of the 4, 3 letters. So how do we count? And this is to answer your question, Fernando. When we count from spring, April is the first month, May the second, June the third, July 4th, and August, or Av in Hebrew, this is the 5th month. So what happens in the 5th month, in the 9th of it? What is happening in terms of numbering? 599. What is 5 times 9? Do you hear? Do we have a connection, or I was disconnected? I'm not sure.
45.
45. 45.
Yes, 45.
And the value of 45 relates to what? Which word in
Adam.
Hebrew? Adam. So Adam, why the temple was destroyed specifically in this day? And please remember, the book of Lamentation start with the word Ayeka. Where are you? Eicha yashva badad. How lonely sat the city, the capital city, the city of God. Ayeka. Where are you, human? People do not deal with the spirit. This is why in this specific day the temple is destroyed. A lack of humanity. Lack of humanism. Where is the temple?
Jerusalem.
Jerusalem, historically, but now, where is the temple?
inside of us.
inside.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. The temple is in each and every one of us.
It is interesting because Shelton said Jerusalem, and I was
Mhm.
thinking that Jerusalem represents Sephirah Malkut, I think,
Mhm.
and the temple represents the tree of life, right? And it is the connection. The temple represents the connection with the tree of life, maybe.
Thank you. Now, questions or thoughts, because if you pay attention, there is a movement while whenever I speak between, so to speak, the, I would say, universal year, May, June, July, and so, and the Hebrew year, Tishrei, Cheshvan, Kislev. But I stretch in the way we think. We stretch the lunar year to the solar year, and in this way we calculate absolute, because we have here lunar year composed of 355 days, solar year 365, the gap is 10. In order to find the truth, in a way we stretch. What do I mean by stretch? We look into the lunar year. There are 12 months. 1, 2, 3. Now it doesn't matter the name. It is matter when do we start counting. Is it first from spring or first from autumn? This is how they count in the Babylonian Talmud. At least 2 countings, therefore. But this is very important to remember. And then we move to the solar year, and we count from spring, and we adjust. Now it doesn't matter so much the name. Of course we can always stretch the name in Hebrew, bring it into value, and move on. But it's very important to adapt. And then we see the truth, because the truth is in the solar calendar. In the solar calendar, Bala Sulam write that the solar calendar is equivalent to Bina, when the lunar calendar is equivalent to Malchut. This is why the lunar year is lacking of 10 days. It is quite complex because I speak from different directions at the same time. Lunar year, solar year, numbers, names, sfirot, letters in Hebrew, and meanings. But please, you are welcome to ask questions, and we can make a progress.
How does the leap year relate to what you're talking about?
What is a leap year?
So every 4 years there's one less day in the month of February.
Yes. And once in 4 years they add another day to February, and we have 29 days.
Right.
That the 2 calendars will fit. Yes. So in the solar year we add every 4 years 1 day to February, and in the Hebrew year we pregnant this process called impregnate a year. Every 2 or 3 or 4 years we pregnant the year, we add another March, another Adar, and then we come even. And every 19 years calendars are meeting. Let's say if a person was born in 9th of September, let's say in 9th of Tishrei, Tet B'Tishrei, every 19 years his Hebrew calendar and his solar calendar will meet every 19 years. 19 is the value of Eve, Chava, experience or time. Luria, Fernando, when Luria explains 9th of Av in his writing, this is how he describes it. He counts from spring, the Hebrew months from spring, and Av is the 5th month, and he relates to the 9th of the 5th month and to the 10th, the day after. This is how he relates to the holidays as well. There's a stretch. There's like, in a way, lunar year, and the bigger in a way is the solar year, and the solar contains the lunar. Just to give us an exercise of thinking, the Day of Atonement, Yom Kippur, the day of fasting is the 10th day in the 7th month from spring, the 10th day of the 7th month. So we do the 10 double 7, this is 70. 70 is wine, yain, or time, and the fasting supposed to cover the fact that we are blind in time. So while taking the Hebrew months and relate them to spring, where everything starts, and choosing the right day and double it in the order of the months, we get a lot of meaning.
Etty, I don't know if everybody else hears it, but your volume seems to have decreased the last minute or two.
Yes, now do you hear better? I see Venus is writing. Yes, is it
Yes, I
better?
think
Is
it's
it better?
increasing a little bit.
Okay.
It's noticeable that your volume is decreased.
And now it's okay? Is it better?
Better.
Better. I hope you hear. Now questions. A lot of mathematics and numbers, but please ask. Or say whatever you feel.
Etty,
Yes.
could you repeat the last things you were saying about the 10 and the 7, because the volume went really low?
Okay. I just gave an example how to relate. Do you hear? Do you have a good sound now? Is it good?
Yes, it's good now.
Thank
Excellent.
you so much. I just took an example, the Day of Atonement at the autumn, in terms of North Hemisphere. There's a Day of Atonement. Everybody, according to the tradition, people fast to cover whatever happens the last year and to start fresh, a new page. So I just gave a glance how the sages see the Day of Atonement. Since the Bible says that this day is happening in the 10th of the 7th month, the 10th of the 7th month, what do? We take the 10th, the date, and we double it in the month. It's the 7th month. So 10 is the day, 7 is the month. So we double 10 by 7 and we get 70. So, and from this number, we understand the meaning of the Day of Atonement. The meaning of fasting is to cover all those mistakes and fortunes that people did in the last year, meaning in time. Because 70 is the value of the word yain, wine, like the lore that Adam and Eve ate or drank from the tree of knowledge, and the tree of knowledge was wine. Wine is red. They believed what their eyes can see, not the hidden. This is just one direction of thinking, because Fernando asked me, how can it be? It is, everything is beautiful, the lion, the sun, everything is perfect. So how can it be that in this day, in this month, the temple was destroyed? So I explained Luria's thinking and gave another example by mentioning the Day of Atonement.
Etty, I heard a teaching on Saturday in regards to the Haftorah reading,
Mm-hmm.
and that the Haftorah reading prior to this period is related to the Torah reading, but between now and the high holidays, that the Haftorah reading changes, so that this past week, the Haftorah reading was Jeremiah, first chapter of Jeremiah and part of the second chapter, to kind of coincide with what you were talking about in terms of the sadness and the grief of this period,
Yes, yes,
and that the Haftorah reading between now and the high holidays are not necessarily related to the Torah reading, but are related to this process of preparing for the Day of Atonement.
yes, it's true. It's true. Shelton, do you see Joanne words on YouTube? Do you see YouTube chat?
No, I don't.
No.
I don't have it up. I don't have it up.
Okay, so who can read, please? Joanne words. Who has an access to YouTube and can read Joanne words, please?
I can read it.
Thank you. Thank you, Felipe. Good morning.
Good evening. Shalom, my friends. So, Joan D., could you please share your thoughts about the woman with the issue of blood for 18 years, which is a lunar cycle, to sync up with the solar cycle, and how in Revelation it says the moon turns to blood? This is Joan's question.
Thank you, Joanne. First of all, just to say about the New Testament in general, before we read Philon's writing, I would not access the New Testament to understand what is written in the New Testament.
I think it is without a mic right now. I can't see. Are you hearing it?
I
We're
just
Not
can.
listening.
I don't see her mic.
Yes.
I don't see her mic there.
Do you
Yes.
see?
I lost it.
You're probably gonna log back in, perhaps.
Yes, now you're
We
on.
are
It.
back. We are back.
Thank you.
Just to say to Joanne, maybe you
Now
can.
we can listen to you.
Yes, yes. You can send it this question on Discord, but regarding reading the New Testament without reading Philon's writing, without reading and learning what Philon is writing, I would not try to answer this question, because usually when we read the New Testament, we believe that we understand what is written there, the terms, the way of thinking, but it's not what we think. And this is why I cannot answer this question. Maybe you could post this question on Discord, but to answer it thoroughly, one has to dive into Philon's writing. Thank you, Joanne. Questions? Yes.
It is amazing what you said here, and I am just putting the ideas together in my mind. But it makes me remember one quote from the book of Zohar, which speaks about the foreign fire, let's say, that the sons of Aaron went to burn in the Mishkan, and it's interesting because it is said in the book of Zohar that is like the will of this attitude. It's one reading from infinite readings, right? But it did not went right because they couldn't make the marriage between Shekhinah and Hashem, let's say, between the sun and the moon. It is another symbol, right? And it seems that this 9 of Av could represent something good because it is the manifestation of Adam, right? And the truth of the humanity. But since we do not have this marriage, it seems that the consequence is the ruin of the temple, the broken of the vessel, or something like this. For me, it seems that is a very an idea very that is related with this. That is, when you cannot marry the sun and the moon, what happens is the break of the vessels. Could we see it in this way? I think we lost again. 80.
We'll see her mic.
Yes. We lost you.
Hello? Hello?
Yes.
Are we back?
Now.
Yes,
Hello.
we can hear you now.
It's good that you ask about the sons of Aaron, because we read about the sons of Aaron in the Day of Atonement, the foreign fire. This is also has to do with it. And yes, the temple is broken because there is no relation between the sun and the moon. Yes, that's correct.
Some days ago, it brought this text from Luria, and he relates also the ish with the woman. So
Yes.
this foreign fire as a foreign woman as well.
That's correct. That's correct. In a way, it has to do also with the fact that Leo or Av or August is in the element of fire. This is a foreign fire. Foreign fire, Ish Zara or Isha Zara. It's not the Holy Spirit. Meaning, human have relation to a foreign fire, not to the Holy Spirit. This is why the temple historically was destroyed. But not just historically, when a person inside of his life does not include the holiness, relate to the holiness within his temple or life, are going through crises. Because if we live according to the cause of causes, such a destruction should never happen. But as we are living in time, this process is happening all the time.
Betty, can you contrast the Peter Paul Rubens line that you posted on the concept board with the the lion in the tribe of Judah, are the relationship, or how they contrast, or how they're different?
This is interesting because the temple historically is built in the territory or inheritance of Judah. The temple in Jerusalem is built on this territory which belongs to Judah. And Judah is a lion. Yes. In a way, in the name, it's a very good question, because in a way, in the name of Judah, we see something very interesting, how the temple is being destroyed, because the name of Judah is contained of 5 letters. 4 of them are the tetragrammaton. 4 of them. When the letter Dalet can be considered as if we put here a little drop, can consider it as a door or as a hand in potential. The question, what do we do with this hand or with the door inside of us? If we don't open the door to the holiness, everything is destroyed. Because there is a Judah in all of us. Because Judah is not a name of a person. This is the appearance of the tetragrammaton in his 4 letters in time. The question, what do we do? Do we open our hand, open our heart, or not? Questions? Rodrigo, question about justice, about truth.
I just noticed it reading the Psalms 85,
Yes.
12, put on the stream board, that the word emet is the first word of this verse, and the word tzaddik.
Yes.
If we get these 2 words, emet, tzaddik, truth and rightness,
Yes.
have the value of 541, which is the shemesh plus the aleph plus the kolel. If we get truth and justice,
Truth.
we get truth
Truth.
is 441. 441.
1 second. Truth is 441. Yes.
And vet tzaddik is 200.
Vetzedek is 200.
Yes. And so we get 641, which is the sum, the shemesh plus the kolel plus the aleph.
Yes.
So
Yes.
if we get truth and justice, we get the sun, and we get this picture of a lion that could represent the sun, could represent both justice and truth. And it's interesting because, as Fernando said, Aryeh is related with the Chokhmah,
Mm-hmm.
but also the value of Aryeh is 216, which is the same value of Gevurah. Gevurah could represent the justice, and Chokhmah, Emet. And so we get the lion associated with both, with truth, Emet, and justice. It's a big
Mm-hmm.
about this and share. I don't know if it makes sense yet.
It is. It is.
It's some relations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all of this we get, and so I just share it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Also, the word nishkaf is transparent. I mean, truth is coming from, is sprout out from the earth, and righteousness comes. English here says, look down from heaven. In Hebrew, nishkaf, look down, or is being transparent, or delivered to us from the heaven. Its value is 530 or 53, like the Father and the Son, or like garden. This is the Father's perspective.
I have a question about
Yes.
the word justice.
Yes.
And, in the book of Micah, chapter 6, verse 8,
Mm-hmm.
in the book of Micah, chapter 6, verse 8, it says, if has been told thee, O man, what is good and what the Lord requires of thee, only to do justly and to love mercy, to walk humbly with thy God. And in some translations it says to do justice. And then Amos chapter 5 verse 24, it says, but let justice well up as waters and righteousness as a mighty stream in Amos. So the question is, are they the same words in the Hebrew? Do they have the same meaning, or are the words different from the two different prophets?
So let's see. I have to look 1 second. I have to browse here in a different browser. So the first is from Micah. Which Micah?
Micah 6, 8. Micah 6 verse 8.
Micah 6 verse 8. Let me see. A second. No, in Micah 6, no. No, he says to do justice and the love of grace, and to be modest with your God. It doesn't say. No, it doesn't say. It says mishpat, judgment, to do judgment.
Judgment, not justice.
Mishpat, not tzedek. Mishpat, not tzedek. It's not the same.
Because some translations say justice. I have never heard judgment, to do judgment.
Mm-hmm.
And then in Amos 5:24, is it a different word as well, or is it said?
What is the other, please?
Amos 5:24.
Amos 5:24. 1 second. 1 second. 24. Doesn't open. Try another one.
Also,
Yeah.
mishpat.
Yes. Mishpat. Mishpat. You want
But
mishpat.
the English version in Misham Mamre says justice there. The English translation says justice. It's
Mishpat.
interesting.
Mishpat.
So both say judgment.
Yes. Mishpat is not just judgment. Mishpat is also a sentence that we speak. Full sentence. Mishpat. Mishpat.
Can you say a little bit more about that? You said it's not just judgment; it's a sentence.
Mm-hmm. It can refer both to a sentence that a man speaks, like we read in a book. There's a sentence after sentence after sentence. Yes. Mishpat, and also it means judgment. Yes, both.
I wonder why it's hard to know, but in so many translations, even in Meshach Mamre, the Amos translation says, "Let justice They translated to justice. I'm just curious as to how those two words got changed from the translations.
It
So that's what.
happens. They translate the spirit of things or how they understand it. How the translator understand it at the same time he reads it. It happens. This is why we look at the Hebrew and we move to numbers. It's very good what you ask, because a word in Hebrew, Oshem, name. Shem, though it's here masculine, is considered, or the letters considered to be feminine. The name is feminine, or the letters, we could say. But number, mispar is masculine. This is why we grant every letter and number, and we move to the absolute. I think Felipe asked me this question. We had a discussion here on Discord, and I explained that Shem, name, Milah, is a feminine, while Mispar, number, is masculine. Why do we grant the Hebrew letters a number? To move to the absolute. Like Fernando asked me about Tisha B'Av, why such a sad day, or the destruction of the temple happens in this day, and we move to speak in the absolute, and from there we return. Let's say the word is here, word or name, what consists of letters. This is the revealed, so to speak, and we move to the numbers here, to the concealed. Numbers, 1 second. This is also Weinreb and also Gershom Scholem. They are mathematicians. Numbers. This is the absolute. So we read the text, we try to understand, we grant it, each letter gets a number, we collect, we can work with it infinitely, and we move into the absolute. In the absolute we have the lateral reading, or we penetrate the world of dreams, and then we return. We always move between the tangible and the hidden. So in the numbers, we're in the hidden realm. And then we can see things very pure. Yes. Yes, Fernando. Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, just one question. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I don't want to interrupt you. Just that the mishpat is translated as justice or judgment, right? And
Yes.
I am asking myself if it has relationship with pshat level, with the literal meaning, right? Because you are speaking here about the ability to go to the abstract level,
Mm-hmm.
and how this going to the abstract brings freedom,
Mm-hmm.
and also brings mercy, right?
Yes.
Because we can see the paradox, and we can see that that more than one sentence is right in the absolute. The absolute comports the paradox.
Yes.
And the pshat level, the literal meaning, also brings judgment because it is narrow. It is
True.
something very straight. So could we relate mishpat with pshat? I think we have the
Yes, the same letters. Yes. Pshat. Though,
I'm wondering.
yes, Shelton, yes.
Yeah, I'm wondering too, Etty. Even as I listen to Fernando, you have asked a question about truth and justice, how they're related. And my question also is, can there be justice without truth? And we live in an age, and maybe this has always been the case for human beings. What is truth? For one person, truth is truth, and then for another, their truth is a falsity, right? How how do these two things relate, and can they coexist, or are they is truth is justice dependent upon truth, and how do we get there?
It's a very good it's a very good question, Shelton, because the truth comes from sprouts from the earth. So this is the movement of truth. In Hebrew, titzmach, grows from the earth, and justice comes from heaven. And then we have like two directions, two different opposite directions, and they meet, and their meeting in a way builds the world. Now, Rodrigo offered us one way. Another way to see the sentence is to look at emet as 144, because if we take the aleph as 1, emet, truth. We take aleph as 1, 40 as mem, another 400, but we read it in this way, like a mirror. We have 144, and we take tzedek, justice, the three letters, tzedek is 194. We take justice and we minus from it the truth, 144, we get 50, or bina. And bina is understanding beyond time and space. Now, when we read this sentence, it's not that the truth or the justice are being presented or judged in a certain building, in a certain city, under a certain judge. The Psalm speaks about qualities. It is a moment or a notion inside of a person when truth and justice come together. They meet together. Where? In his understanding. When we understand, there's truth in it and justice in it. Like Fernando said, in the absolute, Fernando, can you repeat your sentence from before?
I just said that in the absolute, the paradox could reside.
Yes, in the absolute.
Accepted.
Yes, this is it. This is it. So the Psalms does not speak about truth or justice in high court somewhere, but inside a person's heart. And I believe that we experience, all of us, those moments during the day. Because truth and justice are not external terms which are written on a paper.
You know, I appreciate what you said. I was thinking about something. I think it was in Psalms or Proverbs. It said, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the avoidance of evil is the beginning of understanding. The avoidance of evil is understanding. Bina. And I'm thinking, if that's the case, then and you said the difference between mishpat and justice is 50, meaning jubilee. So
Yes.
that if we have this understanding, then what we get from where justice and truth meet is a kind of freedom, a collective freedom, where
Yes.
things go back to a right relationship between people and the earth, right?
Yes, this is it. This is it. This is it.
Etty,
Yes.
you posted some really beautiful paintings this morning too. One
Yes.
looked like the panel, 4 panels, and one was just a long painting that had different figures in it.
Yes.
Was that also related to justice and truth? And did you want to say something about it before that? You logged off for the day. Just curious.
I'll try to bring them that everybody would be able to see them. I'll try to bring them here to the whiteboard, and I just need a minute. I hope it's possible. 1 second. This is 1 second copy image. Excuse me, it will take me 1 second because I need to establish another screen at the moment. Can you please, Shelton, describe what did you see? Until I will post it, it will take me 1 second to open the whiteboard and to post it. What did you see?
Well, I saw one painting. The first one you posted was like had a blue color to it. It looked like maybe not mountains, but there were different figures within the overall painting. They looked like they were multiple images within one large painting. And then the second painting looked like there were, maybe the first could have been taken from it, but it looked like there were 4 separate panels that had 4 separate meanings. Also had a blue overall color to it, and it looked like there were multiple figures in each panel.
So, thank you so much, Shelton. Here we see the 2 paintings. 1 second. I would like to that also on YouTube people will be able to see them. So I'll move. This is little experiment that Andre did with the AI image generator. He took the name Blue Bible Stories as blueprints of the soul, and he asked this intelligence to make art, and this is what this service came with. This is generated, those paintings were generated by AI. Do we see this? Do you see this on YouTube? Is it? Do we see this?
Yes, it is beautiful. It is an amazing story.
This nourishing.
Beautiful.
I didn't know. Good morning, Kevin. I didn't know. Just experiment. You can say words. Words. Again, this is interesting. The relation between word and appearing in time, and the generator takes the words and makes images, and those are 2 of the 4. Usually they offer 4 images. When you speak to the service, you say what you see, or any kind of sentence or words that you have in your mind that you would like to see. You describe a landscape in your mind, and the AI just take few minutes, and then he processes it and produces those 2 images. It was few minutes before class experiment.
I'm glad you said that. I didn't realize. I saw AI. I didn't realize, but you know what it reminds me of is how you were talking about how amazing actually the ability to speak is. And I think before you mentioned many months ago about speaking isn't just words, but also bringing. When we speak, we bring things into existence, kind of like the AI, bringing the images out through speaking into the AI.
Yes.
We also have this power to bring things into existence by our words.
Yes. Yes. This is, I think that Victoria once asked me about the term abracadabra, evra, which means evra kedivrei, I shall create as the word I speak. I shall create as I speak. So this is very interesting, because this is another dimension, because we are very familiar to listen to one's person and we have impressions, any kind, but words, they are manifestation. And here we see this. He also, the AI, because the term was a blueprint of the soul, so he related to blueprint as blue. This is why he colored here blue or turquoise. Questions or thoughts?
It is amazing. It is really amazing and impressive.
We wanted to offer you, I think I put a link. Yes, yes, Fernando.
No, it is so beautiful what Shelton you just said, that the words can take us to another planet. This experiment can show this, but in a way can show that only words can make a symbol or a matrix of symbols.
That's true.
I saw here they have a news program, 60 Minutes, and they were showcasing the new director for Gucci
Mm-hmm.
from the last 6 years. And one of the things that caught me was they said that the company had been revitalized because they had, and I'm paraphrasing what they said. They had taken this particular man's imagination, and his imagination had become the new image of Gucci, the ideas that he had been brought into existence, and this is what revitalized the company. Uh, and just the power of imagination. I know Einstein said imagination is more important than knowledge. It's more than just the precursor; it's the main event.
True.
Einstein also said once, knowledge will get you from A to B, but imagination will take you anywhere.
Yes, because imagination has mercy. A to B is judgment. Yes, both imagination is associated with Sfirat Binah, with understanding, or the first hay of the Tetragrammaton, and the hay consists of 3 lines. So we can think about it as imagination or a triangle or the first vessel. So imagination is the first vessel.
Eti,
Yes.
don't want, may I just make an exercise of imagination with the words of the psalm?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I was looking at the psalm also
Mm.
before. If you could help me,
Yes.
because I was looking at that image, is the word that represents the middle line of the tree of life, because we have the Aleph that stands for Keter, maybe.
Yes.
The Mem, that is the middle letter of the alphabet, which stands for Tiferet, maybe.
Yes.
And the Tav, the last letter, to Mal.
Yes.
It is just one way to approach it. So the Emet could represent the tree of life.
Yes.
And I was looking at some words at this psalm. We have Aretz, that
Mhm.
is the land, that could stand for Malchut.
Mm-hmm.
We have Tzedek, that could stand for Yesod, because Yesod represents the Tzaddik, the
Mhm.
Tzedek, righteousness. And we also have the Shamayim, that represents Tiferet.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see that I was looking at the first word represents the all of the tree, and we have an ascending, Aretz to Tzedek to Shamayim. But I could not relate the Mishkaf,
Mm-hmm.
that the transparent, maybe it's the
Mhm.
supernal truth. semar, that I don't know also how put it on the tree.
Mm-hmm. Yes, grow. It is interesting because when you focus, and thank you for your explanation, the first 3 letters, if we take the Aleph here, 1 second, I'll take a pen. Aleph from Emet, Mem from Me'eretz, from the land, and Taf from Titzmach, will grow. Emet, truth from the land, will grow. I mean, this is the direction. It will move vertical. The first 3 letters, the abbreviation is also creating the word Emet. You see, Emet, Me'eretz, Titzmach, Aleph, Mem, and Tav. So now we can think philosophically, while the movement of the truth is vertical, or coming from the land towards the sky, because this is the direction of the spirit. The direction of the spirit is against gravity. Gravity will take the opposite way. But the truth, this is gravity, pulls down, pulling us down. But Emet, Me'eretz Titzmach, truth springs out from the earth. This is the direction of the spirit.
And goes to Yesod and Tiferet.
Mm-hmm. Yes. You're welcome.
I was looking at the paintings. The one on the left seems
Yes.
to have a lot of light
Yes.
in the painting. We're talking about light on the last week,
Yes.
and the painting the left on the right has water at the base of it.
Yes.
There seems to be water. It's interesting that at the bottom of it, you see it looks like waves of water.
Mm-hmm.
Really small waves. Water kind of in the bottom of the picture. Just thought that was
Mhm.
interesting.
You see, it is interesting, Shelton, because the water already have a division. We see a division of 4, while the left picture is like the element of fire. So in a way there is no division. There's like a course. Those people go into the light, they go into the fire through the books. This is interesting, because the element of fire is what unites us, and water is, so to speak, what separates us.
I think perhaps the water, God separated the water from the dry land. The water was at first, and then the water was separated. God separated the water from the land. I think that's how Genesis narrative goes.
Once there was a gathering of water in Genesis, then the land could be seen. The land, or it's not really the land, it's about a conversation, basically. Yes, yes. By the way, the Philon translator reads Genesis 1 as a birth of recognition in man. Again, Genesis 1 speaks about the birth of recognition in a man. When man understands that he can speak, and when he speaks rational speech, everything comes to its purpose and chaos stops. It's not about Darwinistic creation. People think they read the Bible, it's about our valleys and mountains, David Attenborough. It's not about it at all. And I hope that in our coming conversations we could slowly enter this universe of Filon, because this is a basic education, I believe. And maybe we could start opening this slowly on Discord. Maybe we can produce podcasts with friends, slowly to open this treasure box that he left for us, because without his writing it's hard to read the New Testament, and people would like to read it as it was written. So this is, I would like, I don't know how it will come, will appear through which or channel of communication, but I hope to do this with your participation.
It will be excellent.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here today, for coming here today. I would like to wish you a wonderful week, and we could meet here on Thursday at the same time. And meanwhile, use Discord for questions and comments.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Eti. Shalom, everyone.
Shalom,
Thank you so
shalom.
much.
Thank you. Have a wonderful week. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom, shalom.